Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're able to get out and do some fishing. The weather here has been beautiful up in the Northeast. It's been really beautiful actually for a couple weeks. I believe we've got some cold weather coming, but I believe after that it's going to be game on. I'm hoping March is looking like we're going to be able to get out and get on some fish. Anyway, I was going through some soft plastics today. That's what I'm getting ready to load up, and I was going through finesse worms. And I was looking at all the finesse worms and thinking about what I caught my fish on last year, and I thought I would share it with you guys. Not just the worm itself, but how I rigged it, which is a little unique. Plus, I've got a couple of worms that are very. One of them's the juice, guys. Actually, they all caught fish, but you'll see on this one, it's a pretty awesome worm. Anyway, uh, I used probably three or four brands last year. I went with depths, the Kinku, I think you can call it the air. I used the 5.8 and the 3.8. I used a worm from D Style. I used TMCO, PDL, multi stick, and let me just go ahead and show you the multi stick. We'll start with it. This was for shaky heads, but you can Texas rig this. This is where I'm going to show you some other rigs here. It's just a standard. They come in six. They got some sevens, but you see how they're flat. They're flattened, but bulbous. And then the tail, guys. It's crazy action. Like you could cut this worm, and you got a Ned worm. You know what I mean? If your worm gets damaged, cut it about right there. Put you a little Ned rig on it, and boom, you've got an awesome Ned worm. That's from TMCO, the PDL multi stick. It's an awesome soft plastic worm, guys, for shaky heads. What if you're on the water anywhere in the country? Maybe 2-3% of people on that water is throwing that bait. Something to think about. They do catch fish. That's the most important thing. Now, and of course, I throw a lot of Kasumi design worms. They have a array of finesse worms, and they're actually new. I did a couple videos on them. New to the market. I mean, we're talking 24 months. Uh, they're actually very unique worms. They have three holes in the body above the egg sac. I'm hoping this camera can focus in, but I doubt it. Hopefully it can. There's three holes there that releases bubbles and has a little different action. They float very nice. These are very good on shaky heads. I prefer throwing them on jig heads, and whatever you're comfortable with. I use different kinds. I use a lot of decoy. I believe this is a Gamakatsu or owner blockhead, Gamakatsu. They all make very good jig heads, guys. So whatever you're comfortable with. But that right there, instead of Texas rigging with the light wire hook, is the way to go. You will catch fish on them worms if you get them. Japan Import Tackle, they sell a lot of Kasumi design products, guys. You know that. Now, as far as, let me just show you this other worm, and this is going to surprise you. This worm's actually it's from here in the States. This is not a JDM worm. Yes, I know, it's crazy, huh? I do throw some baits and use some stuff from here in the States as well. Maybe only like 5%, but I do use them. I'm sure a lot of you know Terry Scroggins, Big Show. He was on the elites, fishing for like 30 years. He's been on the elites forever. He came out with a worm, and I wanted to make sure I did this right and told you the right name. I've got different sizes, like 5.5 up to like 8 inches. So it's a standard, as you can see, standard worm. But look at the tail on this thing, guys. Let me get it to. I'm hoping you can see that. Now you can leave it like that, okay? But what I've been doing is I just take that little piece of plastic that's holding them together, and I'll cut it. So now you've got a fork tail. You've got a fork tail that's got a little bit of action. It's got a little bit of bulbous kind of design on the foot of both of these. So it's kind of, as you can see, so it's going to give off a little bit. I hope you can see. It's going to give off a little vibration, but that on a jig head or a stand up head, something like this, shaky head and it doesn't matter again, guys, whatever you use. That's going to stand that worm up when you pull it through cover. When they want this worm, guys, they smash it. It's the K, is it the K worm or K cut? K tail. This is in green pumpkin. This worm, this is an awesome worm. This is juice right here, guys. You'll catch more fish on that worm. On this one, and if you can find these TMCOs, these multi-sticks, those are more the action, when, everybody's throwing those standard robo worm, which are great, or straight tail worms, and you come behind with a straight tail worm that has a tail section and just doing something a little different. That'll equal bites. Now, in a way to rig it, I'm going to show you something else that's here that is the juice. Instead of Texas rigging or using a jig head, if you can get away with it, if your cover will allow, you can go with a swing head. Now, these are from Owner. These are pivot heads. This is a 1/4 ounce. Let me see if I can hold that so you can see it. I don't know, I'm hoping, I don't care if it's not getting on me, I just want you to see the bait. So you have the head there. This is a 1/4 ounce. I think they go all the way up to half. It's like a bean, comes through cover nice. Okay, and the thing is there's a split ring. It's attached with a split ring. They come in straight shank and EWG, but the thing is that split ring, I'm sure you're hearing guys talk about split rings on their hooks for Texas rigs and pitching and whatnot, because they work. They do, when you do stick them, they do seem to hold them a little better, and two, it gives your bait more action. This is that D style worm. It's got the spear tail. For just a straight tail worm, the D style and that depths, you can't beat them, guys. If you just want to keep it simple, get you a couple worms. I would definitely get a D style or a depths and definitely get you an action worm like the TMCO or the K worm. This is a neat little worm, guys. This will catch you some fish right here. All of these will, but this one's fun. It's fun when you throw stuff's got a little bit more action. You get them thumps. Again, the D style, I showed you that pivot head. I'm hoping this all comes in. The ultra head, you can find these still. I don't know if they're I know eBay's got them. So if you want to look on eBay, you'll see these pop up. They've got 1/8 up to 3/4 in these, and they go from 3/0 up to 5/0. These are awesome, and they're Owner. They're great hooks, guys. And then with jig heads, if you just want to get you a jig head, like this one from Decoy, Owner, I'm sorry, excuse me. I don't know, I've got Decoy in mind, because this is Decoy. But Owner, you can't go wrong with. Decoy, you can't go wrong with. This is a little Decoy, a little small one. And I'm gonna show you this worm. This is a drug stick. Sonny Brothers. All right, I'm gonna show you. It's a little 3.8. Now you can drop shot this worm, of course, but a little jig head like this one from Decoy, that right there, guys, can clean up for you. That's a Sonny Brothers drug stick. Let me show you. I got a bigger one out. That's a 3.8. This is the 4.7. They're just ribbed finesse worms, but they're flattened. They've got tons of action in the water. They give off a lot of vibration, as you can see, and their tail sections do have a nice action to them. That's Sonny Brothers drug stick. These are good worms too, guys, if you want one with ribs. Just something different than all the other guys are throwing. Not only your bait, but sometimes you can rig it up on something like this pivot head, and it'll get you more bites, especially around others who are throwing the same bait you are. Nothing fancy, guys. I'm just gonna, as I'm going through baits and getting ready for the season, gonna load up the boat. I'm gonna do a little quick video and show you a couple things. I hope it helps somebody. That, they get some good information from this. You can always, leave a comment, message me on Instagram if you got any questions. Other than that, I hope you're doing well. God bless and tight lines.